What is good, everybody? Appreciate you joining us here on the Players Lounge on InsideCarolina.com. I'm Joey Powell. Taylor Viplis here with us, and we're brought to you by Heels4Life. And Heels4Life has helped make this happen today. Talking with Myles Murphy, Big Eight, on the UNC front line. And the coolest thing about Heels4Life making this happen is it's allowing us at Inside Carolina to bring to you some of these players in a very candid, casual conversation so that you can see, what it's like and hear from these guys directly. And why the work that Heels4Life does is so important is it's allowing North Carolina to compete with the other big schools in college football and helping to make sure that UNC's players are able to profit off of their name, image, and likeness. And Heels4Life is the UNC football collective that's helping to drive this. They're also making sure that these guys have really good opportunities in the community to interact with local nonprofits and other NGOs that are doing the good work in the community that needs to be done. So we're really thankful for the partnership with Heels4Life, and we're really thankful for the guy that's joining us today. Vip, I don't expect you to be able to withstand a swim move from this guy, but we're going to have to today. Myles Murphy joining us. First off, Myles, before we get going with any of the real fun questions, how you feeling? You got a towel on your head, which tells me you've been outside.
Yeah, I've been out here like working these camps. Just got done working one camp earlier. Just came to the academic building, get some work done. Just trying to graduate early, trying to be out here as soon as I can.
Yeah, well, we know that the academic building is, as we heard from Will Hardy when Tommy and I talked to him earlier, the grind doesn't stop for academics during summer school either, even when a
Not at
guy's got
all.
a, even when you got a camp to do.
Hmm.
Um, so let's get rolling. First thing I'll ask you, Myles, what's your first football memory? I mean, most of these guys that we've talked to on here have been playing basically since they could walk. I think the
Hmm.
line we hit with Will Hardy was, he was born, the doctor slapped him on his behind, and his dad chained him to a jugs machine. So, like, what's your first memory of football as a kid?
I would say like growing up, like I was always fast and quick. So I'll say when I was like 6, 7, I used to play for a little team called Windsor. Yeah, Windsor football. It's in Greensboro. And I was like the tall kid out of everybody, but I was so fast. So coach wanted me to play running back, and I played running back, and I was probably the best. Like running back is probably my favorite position, but I just outgrew it due time. Like I came to middle school, I played it. Is when I got to high school, I just got too tall, and it was like I can't play running back no more. So I just miss playing running back. I'm sorry about that. I just miss playing that.
Do you think that Coach Brown should give you some packages, maybe goal line situations?
Oh yeah, I talked to him about it. I talked to the OC about it. I talked to everybody. I was like, just give me like 5 yards. I promise we'll get in there.
You're the short yardage guy.
Yeah.
When was the first time playing football that you remember thinking that you could play at this level and beyond, and that was a real possibility?
I'll say after I started getting offers and I went to like a Under Armour All American camp where you could like compete against one of the top players in the nation. I went against like a lot of old linemen that was like high caliber. Some in the NFL right now from this past draft. Like I used to like we went against each other and I did good against them. Like I beat them every rep. So that's when I knew like I can really play on this level. And plus, when I got here my freshman year, it really wasn't a difference from high school. It was just like the old lineman was just bigger. That's the only thing for real.
So, you grew up in Greensboro, right down the road. Did
Yeah.
you grow up a Carolina fan?
I'll say no. I really wasn't a Carolina fan like that. I'll say more of a Carolina. Not like I was more of a Duke basketball fan growing up, and for football, I was really like a SEC guy. Like LSU was my favorite team growing up.
So, how does it end up that you're in Chapel Hill, right? Like, I know you got offers from everybody. So, how did how
Yeah.
did you how did you end up being a Tar Heel?
I had to say Coach Brown and Coach Cross. Like Coach Cross, when he recruited me, Coach Galloway too. He'll get mad at me if I leave him out. But when they was recruiting me, they took it to the next level. They didn't want me talking to nobody. It was like we want you, and they made it clear like they really wanted me. It was like if you come here, you know you're gonna be a big player, big time player for us, and we want you to be a big time player for us. And in my mind, I was just like, why not? Because I can have my family watch me. They ain't nothing but like 40, 50 minutes away.
Mhm.
So like I can have my whole family watch me, and it's only not like down the road. You know what I'm saying? So basically, it was a win-win for me. And plus academics too. With a Carolina degree, can get you so far. So I'm working on that now. So that was basically it right there.
Who's your academic advisor at Carolina, Kathy?
Yeah, Kat. Yes, my girl Kat. She need a raise for sure.
That's who my academic advisor was.
Yeah,
She
she needs a
she
raise,
helped out
man.
a ton.
I'll be up here every day with her. We was just trying to get it in. She's trying to help me graduate. We're trying to get it in.
Yeah, shout out to Kathy. You were one of the best recruits in the state. Did you ever feel the pressure to perform that came along with that ranking and that kind of target that it can put on your back at times?
No, it really wasn't no pressure because I always played it. So it was basically like I want to do well for me and me only. So all the expectations of other people, it really didn't matter because my expectations for myself was already higher than anyone could ever put on me. So it was just I was in my own head. I ain't even want to like lean on pressure. Like pressure is nothing to me. I just play ball. That's it.
And going back to your commitment, what do you remember most from that day and from telling Coach Brown that you would be coming to Carolina? Because I have to imagine he was pretty excited.
Yeah, I made that decision last week. I think it was like the night before. Yeah, it was the night before. It was my commitment was set at Dudley High School in like July 8th, if I'm not mistaken. And I was up all night before I was deciding where I was trying to go. And that's when I just told my mom. It was like I stayed up all day that night. It was like at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Text my mom. I was like, yeah, I'm about to go here. And I told my dad. It was like, yeah, I'm about to go here. Like they all in.
And so,
Wow.
for somebody who's not used to it, what's it like when you give your parents that news and and all of a sudden the weight's lifted? Because we've talked to everybody we've talked to before was had their own recruiting process. For you, what was it like when you told your parents and you'd reached this conclusion? How did that feel?
It felt good, because no one in my family has been in this position that I was in. So that they just buried it in. They didn't want to make decisions for me. They let this process be 100% for me. Like wherever I wanted to do, they was gonna be fine with it. And then we just rolled with it. And I was like, yeah, I'm coming to Carolina. That's where I want to go.
So I want to ask you a question that this is probably more of an announcer's mindset, but there was also another defensive lineman that played the same position at Clemson, same name, spelled his first name differently. Tell
Hmm.
me, and you don't have to out the coach if it happened, but please tell me somebody during the recruiting process got y'all mixed up.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah, a couple did. Couple did.
So
Like
how do you
like
play that off?
he'll tell me sometimes. He used to tell me like, "Oh, bro, this recruiter think I'm you," and I'll tell him, "Oh, bro, this recruiter think I'm you." Like we just text each other. We was like, "Bro, they getting us confused." So yeah, but yeah, Miles, he a cool dude, man. Yeah, he real cool. Like it was just it's fun to like see him play and watch me play. It was like yeah, we almost very similar almost.
When you got to Chapel Hill, what would you say was your welcome to college moment when you realized you couldn't get away with some of the things that you were able to get away with in high school physically or just on the football field?
I say I really didn't have one except for when I broke my hand, which really wasn't a welcome college moment. It's just I broke my hand. I played with it like broken. I had a club on, so I really didn't have one for real. Like yeah, I don't really like have one like something crazy. I know y'all want something crazy, but I don't really got nothing crazy. My first
Nobody
year,
ever caught you lacking?
I want to say yeah, but I probably tripped 9 times out of 10. If they did, I probably tripped. But it really wasn't like welcome Cosmo. I ain't really have when I first got here. I'll say this: when I first got here, 2020 it was COVID. Everybody caught COVID, and we just started workouts. They had pushed workouts back because we were supposed to start it early, but they pushed it back to like mid June, maybe early July. And we had conditioning first day back, and I was done. Like I was so tired. I think it was because of like the atmosphere. I don't know if it was COVID, but I was just I was tired that day.
You were a part of that class of 2020, and I remember just how excited the fan base was with that class and how it did feel like a turning page for this Carolina team, showing that They can recruit with the best of the schools, and there was enough talent in North Carolina. You look at the 2020 class going into this year, only 3 of the top 10 guys are from that class are still at Carolina. You have guys that did outplay their recruiting rankings in that class, guys like Cedric Gray and Kamon Rucker.
Mhm.
It's really the perfect microcosm for how tough it is to identify talent coming out of high school and then getting the most out of that talent. Fans see the stars and the rankings of incoming guys, but from your experience, how quickly do you kind of realize that what you guys did in high school doesn't matter once you start getting out to the practice fields?
I'm gonna tell you something. Them stars don't mean when you touch campus and you line up. If you a 5-star O lineman and I see you, I'm gonna line up against you and I'm gonna do you bad. Them stars don't mean nothing. I'm telling you, like when I got here, I ain't, bro. When I had high 4 stars, I ain't even want to talk about like, bro. My stars don't mean nothing. I'm trying to prove myself to y'all. I don't really care about none of that. I can be a 4, I can be a 5. I don't care about none of that. It's just when some kids get to college, they think, oh, that's gonna give me a starting spot. Like, nah, you gotta learn. Especially you coming in early, you're gonna have to learn the playbook. You're gonna have to learn all that. So really, you're just gonna have to not let, because when you get here and you think that's gonna get you there, it's just like you're gonna get humbled, and then you're gonna like feel down on yourself. But you really can't feel down on yourself because at the end of the day, you're still a freshman. So it's like you're just gonna have to work your way, and then eventually, next thing you know, you're gonna be there. And it's gonna be your time and your spot. So you just gotta show out when your number is called.
So tell me about the process in getting the snowman. Like, how did you get such a? How did you end up with such an ugly number, man?
You talking about, what's number you talking about? I had 2 of
8.
them.
No, 8.
8.
How
Oh, you
did you
don't
end up
like
with number 8?
I love 8.
Oh, I mean,
I
it's an
always
ugly
wore it.
number on a D lineman. I think it's a good number, but it's nobody ever wants to see that like
Nah, I
tiny
made
little
it look
number on a
good. I
giant
made it
guy.
look good though. I made it look good. I wore 8 for a long time. I wore it when I was little, and I wore it when I was in
Okay.
high school. So 8 was just like I really wore it because Lamar Jackson. I used to watch him play a lot. So I really got the number 8 from him because I love watching Lamar Jackson when I was younger. So I
Well,
was like,
there's a
yeah, I'm gonna
story.
get that.
There you go.
Yeah,
Vip, I think
yeah,
Vip wanted. I think Vip wanted a story. I think we got a story there. It's Lamar Jackson.
Yeah,
So
I remember Lamar Jackson came to Chapel Hill his Heisman campaign season. I could tell you right now, I did not have fun watching him on the other
yeah.
sideline.
I seen that. Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
that there's a lot of guys that worked in that locker room with Viplis that probably have lost a lot of sleep over that tape. I'm sure.
I'm already
Um,
knowing.
Miles, you mentioned a second ago playing with a club on your hand. How hurt
Mhm.
were you last season? Not just with that, but I mean, I
Mhm.
think a lot of people overestimate. Um, I'll take it back. A lot of people underestimate how many players go through the season and just like what was at one point a nick in the middle of a game in September becomes a really nagging injury
Mhm.
in November and December. You know, you mentioned playing with the club before. Like, how hurt were you at the end of last year?
Last year is my ankle was bad, and I tried to rush my way into back playing. When Coach Cross, he was like, he do not want me to play. Like I was so eager on getting back on the field, I didn't even think about my well being at the time, because I don't like missing practice. I don't like missing nothing. I don't like missing workouts. So if you're a real athlete, you don't like really missing nothing. So I rushed my way back in, and it got worse. But then that's when I started chilling during practice. When I was like, it came to like what to maybe the Miami game. That's when I started to feel better because I haven't been practicing like that. When coach didn't want me to practice, so he told me he was like he gonna put me in late in Miami game. He gonna see how I feel, and if I feel good, he gonna leave me in there. So in the Miami game, I started to feel good. I started to get a little bit back, but I wasn't 100%. That's when I started to get like a little my confidence back because my ankle came back just for a little bit. And that's when I started playing better on later into the season. So yeah, it was just like I had lost my confidence. My ankle was messed up. I couldn't really be the explosive player I was.
Mhm.
So now I'm feeling way better now, and I can't wait till this season to get what I lost back from last year. I just can't wait.
When you turn on the film, you could tell that you're a big point of emphasis for opposing offensive coordinators. They're throwing double teams at you. What's it like being the focus of double teams for as much as you're facing them? And does it ever get frustrating when you have to be the guy who kind of takes on the mindset of I'm taking a lot of attention for other guys to make plays?
Yeah, even when I was playing hurt, they still was double teaming me. So I was just like, what is going on? Like I got it like early, like the first 2 games, I already knew it was gonna be like that for the rest of the season. And I was just like, I gotta do what I gotta do. If I'm gonna plug these gaps up, I want to make sure my linebackers come in. They gonna make plays, and if they not making plays, then I'm gonna be making plays. So it's like a win-win. So if I'm getting doubled, then I know for sure one of my teammates gonna make the play. So that's all I care about right there.
And with that attention you draw, if an NFL scout came up to you and said, I can only watch one of your game tapes, what game would you point back to where you felt like you were competing at just another level
Is that throughout my career or last year?
throughout your career?
Throughout my career, I got two. I got I'll say Notre Dame my sophomore year, and I got it's either Georgia Tech or Georgia State between them. So Notre Dame or Georgia Tech or Georgia State. I can't really pick. I had good games that game.
What sticks out from those games when you do feel like anything you kind of go to is working?
It just felt like the game in slow motion. Like when I was lining up against them in them games, it was just like I was so surprised at how good I was playing. It was just like I ain't never pictured this. I mean, I pictured it, but I ain't really never thought I would be like this dude that's just making all the plays. I'm creating havoc in the backfield. I'm just like it was a good exciting moment for me, like them past games.
I mean, national TV at Notre Dame is not many worse, not many better places you could show
Oh
out.
yeah, I got double a lot in that game. That's why I said Notre Dame because I held my gaps in them double teams and I made some plays off them double teams. So that's why I put them in there too.
Well, we're talking with grade 8 Myles Murphy off the UNC defense. Myles, I think one of the things a lot of people, talk about Drake and his profile and just how good he is. I want you to explain what it's like going against that guy every day in practice. I mean, it's you got some dudes that don't want to do anything wrong by not protecting him, and your
Mhm.
job is to get there. Obviously, you can't touch the Heisman candidate, but
Oh,
what's it like going against
I
that guy
got
every day?
I got a story for that right there.
Go
Now
ahead.
Drake he like to talk. He be telling Coach Brown, yeah, let Murph hit me in practice, and Coach like no, because one day in practice it was a scrimmage. I want to say it was last spring. Um, the D line was eating up, and the Coach Brown wasn't calling our sacks because you know how you can't really sack the quarterback. We got to like run by him. And he really wasn't calling our sacks, so I got mad and I took it upon myself. I didn't care who was in the game at the time. I was like, I'm about to tackle the quarterback, and I think it was Jacoby Criswell that had the ball, and I sacked him. And everybody just got mad. I remember that, and I pointed at Drake. I was like, "Yeah." I had pointed at him. I was like, "Yeah, you. That would have been you if you was in there." So yeah, but Drake, he's a competitor though, man. I like the way he played, man. He gets me going every time he see me. We have contact before every play. I look at him dead in his eyes, and if he look away, he know I'm gonna get him.
So you just let us inside the hedges a little bit, or in between the yard lines a little bit. Tell us a little bit more about what happens. How does the environment and the feeling around a practice change if somebody touches your Heisman favorite quarterback? What is
Oh yeah.
what is the feeling like amongst the coaching staff and the rest of the players when that happens?
If you're not that dude, or if you're not like one of the greatest players ever, if you tackle him in practice, you're done. Like you might as well go home and think about life because you're not coming back at all. But that day, I was so mad that day, bro. I was just like, I don't even care. It was like, well, it was just one of them days.
The offensive side of the ball has Drake, and it feels like even though there is a new offensive coordinator, it feels like Carolina fans know what to expect with the offense. Now it feels like for you guys to take that next step, it's on the defense to kind of elevate their play. Can you describe and kind of take us into the mindset of the defense and feeling that pressure, knowing that you do have a generational type quarterback in Drake Maye and trying to match his play?
Basically, like we gonna lean on Drake all day, 24/7. Whenever Drake don't make a play, it's up to us for like get the stop. We gonna need him to get that ball back ASAP. Because whenever we're in our mode, like when our defense start to play really good, like y'all seen it through. Like when we start playing really good, all we gotta do is shut him down. And Drake, he just gonna put up points for us. Next thing you know, the score gonna be lopsided, and it's not gonna be no contest at all.
And one area that fans have kind of wanted to see improvement is you guys getting after the quarterback. Carolina was last in the ACC for sacks. What would
hmm
you say you guys are doing differently now as a unit to try to get more pressure on quarterbacks for next season?
We just doing what we do now. He didn't let the dogs free. Now we can do whatever we want now. Because last year was kind of like we was mostly focused on run fits. Like we want to focus on run blocks, make sure linebackers fill in the holes. Really couldn't get off like that. But now it's like he got packages drawn because Coach Chiz, he told me, hey, I got some plays here for you and specifically you to make plays off of. So it's gonna be a whole lot of havoc going on this year. I can't wait for it. I can't tell you.
I think what you just tapped into a little bit, Miles, and we're talking with Myles Murphy, Heels for Life Players Lounge here on InsideCarolina.com. I'm Joey Powell. That's Taylor Viplis. Miles, one of the things you just touched on a little bit was uh, Gene Chiswick's expertise, and I think one of the things last year, everybody in the defensive side of the ball, you know, was not satisfied with the way that the season ended and the way you guys played. I think Kamen Rucker said the same thing. Will Hardy said the same thing. So there were some changes made and there were some new faces brought into the defensive room.
hmm
You've got a guy like Ted Monachino who has coached some of the best defensive players in the NFL. You brought Cam Spence in to serve as an assistant to the defensive line. What have they brought into the locker room, and what has that done for you to help get you guys motivated or get you guys just some different perspectives?
Yeah, each one brings something different. Like Coach Ted, he has all the expertise. Like every time Coach Ted talks, you get full detail, and you just got to listen to that man because he's very smart and intelligent. And Cam, he's just like he's everywhere. He can teach you how to. If you like a stiff dude and you don't know how to pass rush, you don't know how to move, he can teach you all that. So they both bring something different to the table. When they come together with Coach Cross, like the stuff we be doing in like practice before warm-ups, we be doing like stuff that you might see like skilled people do, like running through bags. We just in the sun, the blazing sun, like you might see everybody inside the indoor, the D line out there getting it in. We in the sun for like 30 minutes straight, just getting it in, doing all types of pass rush moves, all types of run blocking moves. It's just like it's very special when you see it and how both of them can really contribute to what we're gonna do this year.
With somebody like Cam Spence, how much does it help that, like you mentioned, he can show you what he's trying to teach, and having that aspect of a teacher where, it's one thing for a coach to say, like, do this, do this, do this, but he could actually, he's a lot closer to your guys' age and can show you some of the moves that he's trying to teach.
So when you gotta do like Cam, you just gotta, cause he's around your age, so it's like, do he know what he's talking about? But at the same time, he know what he's talking about. So it's just like you just gotta listen and watch what he say, cause it's some moves he taught me this year that I'm gonna use. It's gonna be crazy. So I just can't wait to use them and get somebody. I've been waiting, so I just can't wait till the season come around.
Miles, one of the things I think is been unique about each player, specifically upperclassmen, is just how they interact with their team and how they are able to sense the way the vibe is going, not only over the course of a season, but even within play to play or within series to series or game to game. When you have a season like last year where the unit as a whole struggled at times, how do you personally, Miles, maintain your edge when it seems like just kind of everything's working against you?
You just gotta exit everything out. I remember during that time when I got hurt and we started to lose a little bit. We started to lose just a little bit. It was just like somewhere you gotta find that motivation somewhere. And if you don't got the motivation, you just gotta find the consistency at that point. It's just like you gotta keep going. Because even though I was feeling bad for myself, I was feeling like I can't do nothing. I'm still out there. I'm still trying to get it because I know I got more to play for than just football. It's for my generational wealth, whatever you want to call it. It's just you gotta focus on your purpose, and when you find your purpose, it's basically that's gonna take over your emotions, your intensity is just gonna take over at that point. So you just gotta find your why, and once you know your why, it's just how you gonna execute it at that point.
That's a similar mindset to one of my teammates from the 2015 season, Marquise Williams, where everybody always saw Marquise and he always had a smile on his face. He was always picking guys up. He looked like he was having the best time of his life. And I remember somebody asking him like how do you always have that mindset? And he was like, sometimes you just have to know when to fake it because
Hmm.
everybody's looking at me and looking at me to be a leader and having that kind of mindset. So how do you know when to pick up a teammate or when to motivate a teammate or maybe when to challenge a teammate when they're not meeting expectations?
You just gotta talk to him, like I just said. Like, why do you play this game? If you don't play this game and you don't love it, why are you playing it at all? You know what I'm saying? So, if I gotta get on you, period, about you playing, you don't love the game for real. So it's just gonna get the team mad. It's gonna get the coaches mad. Coaches not gonna play you. So it's just like if we gotta get on you about that, then football may not be the sport for you. If we gotta talk to you about how to play the game, play with intensity, play it like you care, because if a coach got to talk to you about like effort, then you're not going to play. Period.
Yeah, I remember a moment where you saw some of the guys on the defense getting on each other in that Georgia State game before you guys turned it around and uh, ex- uh, left Atlanta with a win in that Georgia State game after they showed some of the interactions on the sideline. When you look at this team, who would you point at and say are some of the best leaders on the team, and who are the guys that people are looking to on both sides of the ball for that leadership?
Or I'll say Power for sure. Power, he going to whenever we up or down, Power gonna let you know that we still in this ball game for sure. And another one is said, of course, said gonna make sure you always up. Who was Rut? You can look at Rut. Rut gonna make sure we always up. And basically, my D line coach, Coach Cross, he really that's the main one right there. Coach Cross, whatever the score is, even if we playing good and offense playing bad, or the whole D line as unit playing bad, or the whole D line as unit playing good, and anybody else playing bad, he wants us to uplift everybody. So it's not just this specific group playing well, this specific group playing bad. It's just we're gonna have to uplift each other throughout all situations. So it's basically like everyone at that point, the main leaders gonna have to step up, and most of all, we're gonna have to step up. Even if you're not a leader, you're gonna have to still take some pride in yourself and want to win the game, no matter the scoreboard.
Talking with Myles Murphy here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Heels4Life.org on Inside Carolina. He's Taylor Viplis. I'm Joey Powell. Myles, I think this time of year in the summer, we've got this like hope springs eternal, right? Everybody is excited. Everybody has the most motivation, but you're the guy that's lifting weights and doing summer conditioning and just got through spring ball and all that. What do you expect from the team this year?
I sprayed a great season for my defense. Nothing less, nothing more. I sprayed a great season because now everybody, if everyone stays healthy, and I pray everyone on our defense and offense stays healthy, we will be a tough team to beat. I promise you. If we need everyone to stay healthy. We need practice with expertise and practice like we practice with a purpose. If we do that, everyone is healthy. We're gonna have a great season.
Talking about practicing for a purpose, you're a senior now and you've talked about, trying to get everything you can so you can graduate and get on to the next phase of your life. How does Myles the senior prepare differently than Myles the freshman or even Myles the sophomore? What are you doing differently as a senior now than maybe you weren't doing on game day?
I'm eating different. I'm lifting different. When I'm at the crib, I'm doing push-ups. I'm doing everything I can to get advantage on the next team I'm about to go against. I'm about to look at film. If I know if he got a weak point, I'm gonna attack it. If he weak and I'm stronger than him, I'm gonna run through him on game day. I'm just trying to get an edge over anything I can. Like basically find the cheat code for something because once I see it, I'm aim at it.
And Miles, I have a question for you. Looking ahead to this upcoming season, we know guys like you, we know guys like Cedric Gray, the guys like Power, the guys who have played a ton of snaps at Carolina. But who would you say is the player that people aren't talking about now that they'll talk about in season once the games start coming?
I say Dez Evans. I'm telling Dez where when you look at Dez from last year, even when plays was not his way, you would see him running from across the field. Like we'd be all the way down here from the 20. And like it was I think it was App State. Like we right here maybe on the 50 or 40. And Dez hawks the running back from all the way from the 40 or 50. Even if Dez not making a play, he's making sure he's getting to the ball, he's running after the ball, he got hustle. So I'm expecting a big year from him and Javari Ritchie too. Both of them. I'm expecting a big year from both of them that people don't really talk about because both of them today they put in the work, and I really think that's going to show this year.
Yeah, I think when you talk about Coach Chiswick saying like we're going to let the chains off, a lot of fans would probably pick Des Evans to be the guy who they do want to
I'm
see
telling you,
getting.
this is the year for Dez. I'm telling you, this is his year.
And then a question I have for you as you move to game days, what's on your pregame playlist, and does it change from the time you wake up to as you get closer to kickoff, or are you pretty consistent with what you're listening to?
It depends on who we playing. Like if I know if it's like a rival and I'm in that mode, I'm mean mugging anybody all day. I'm not smiling. I'm just trying to get in that mode because that's how I play. When I play angry, it's just that's when you see all the good plays happen. Then once I make them good plays, that's when I'm smiling. Because if I make a play, I'm gonna hit a dance. I'm gonna do something. So after I know I'm feeling good, I'm gonna play like a someone. So I'll probably say like some. I don't really know. I got a lot of songs on my playlist, so it just depends on who we playing. And after the game, it's more like an exciting playlist after that because I usually try to get in the mode. I try to get mean and angry, so it's just like whatever that gets me in that mode. I don't care what it is. If it can put like a frown on my face, I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah, fans are. I think that's one of the things fans really don't understand is how much fun the post locker room celebration
Oh
is
yeah,
after wins, where it's like you really only have, maybe 10 at most opportunities to do that. And it's like you guys have to maximize that opportunity as much as you can. Dance, play the music, go crazy. Who's somebody in your playlist, maybe not even on a game day, that
Mm.
fans would be surprised that you listen to?
Morgan Wallen. What? How you say Morgan Wallen?
Morgan Wallen, wow.
Morgan Wallen. Yeah, Morgan
That's
Wallen.
that's curveball.
Yeah, Morgan Wallen. I like Morgan Wallen. Yeah, he one of them ones right there. I like his songs.
The summer music in Chapel Hill kind of hits a little different too.
Oh yeah, I've been bumping Morgan all summer. I ain't even gonna lie to you.
So, I think one of the things that, again, these little intra-team competitions, it's always fun to hear what the answers are. So you tell me, who's the strongest player on the team in the weight room?
In the weight room, probably say it's between them. Now it was only Ruck, but now I think when we talking about the weight room and body size and pound for pound, it's between him and Amarion Hampton. Now it's between them for
I think
sure.
Ruck actually said Omarion too. And I mean, when you're squatting what that guy's able to
If you
squat,
talking
and
about pound for pound, it's Amarion because
yeah,
Marion on like 225, squatting 600, lifting 400. Yeah, it's Marion.
his big three numbers have to be absolutely off the charts. All right,
Yeah,
here's another one for you. I'm going to touch that competitive nerve. Who is the best defensive lineman from Greensboro in the locker room?
come on now.
I'm just saying, I know
Come
another
on
guy.
now.
If I asked him the same question, he might say something else.
Hey, it's me and Trav. It's me and Trav.
That's a politician's answer right there, Vip. You hear that? The
Yeah,
man's got a
sure.
future in politics.
I
Mm-hmm.
I think we asked Travis last year a similar question earlier, where if a D lineman had to make a play from the 5 in, he said it was him, no questions asked. So you don't have to be humble.
Yeah, but I'm a humble man. I know how good he is. I know how good I am. So I'm gonna count on him just like I'm gonna count on myself because he's my teammate. So it's like whoever gets it gets it.
And then when you guys are traveling on the road, when you guys are in hotels for training camp, who's the best teammate to have as a roommate?
I'll probably say I had Javari last fall camp as my roommate, but I'll probably say either Tamari or Kevin Hester. Tamari Foster, Kevin Hester. They just funny. You see some of the stuff they do, they just funny. You just laugh. That's all they are. They just funny.
And then for fans to kind of get some perspective on Myles the person, what would you say you like to do outside of football?
I'd probably say I like to play the game a lot. Well, if I'm not training or I'm not preparing for school, studying, I'm playing a game. Probably outside fishing, maybe fish a couple of times, or go back see my mom, just chill. I don't really be doing nothing like that. I just be trying to do what I need to do, so I make sure my body right. I'm feeling good for the next day, so I can just do things at a high level. So I don't really do that much, like the basics almost.
Man, a quiet and reserved guy. That's
Yeah, I just be chilling, man.
yeah, that's rare. It seems like D linemen are either that way, the way you just described, or polar opposite, like they're just in the most all the time.
Yeah.
Last question for you, Myles, and this kind of goes back to our partnership with Heels for Life. How has NIL changed? I guess impacted you and your college experience because you've seen it change since when you got to school to
Mhm.
what it's like now. Just share what your outlook is and how you feel like things have been since NIL became a part of college football.
I'll say it can be a good thing. It would be a bad thing. The good thing, I'll probably say, like, yeah, you can make a lot of money while you're in college. Yeah, you can have all these benefits as a freshman. Come in and you just get offered money. But I'll probably say the bad thing is when you throw some of these young kids all this money, they're not gonna feel motivated to play no more. Like they don't feel motivated to play at a high level. Like even if you throw me some money right now, I'm trying to double that. So I'm trying to. If you throw me some money, I'm just going. That's gonna fuel me to play even better. So it's just two kinds of people in this world, and I feel like depending on who that person is, it might be a good thing, it might be a bad thing. But if it was me, if someone like if I had got offered like a lot of money for NIL type, then it's gonna make me play. I'm gonna get extremely motivated, and it's gonna help me play even better.
And you mentioned, generational wealth earlier. I mean, I think that's something a lot of folks should consider when they're thinking about how they can contribute to Heels for Life because there's a lot of players that, have never experienced what it's like to have financial comfort and being able to profit off of their ability on the football field will be the first chance they ever have for that.
Mm-hmm.
Myles, we appreciate you, man. I know Taylor's glad he doesn't have to go run Oklahoma drill or something like that with you. I'm glad I don't have to go run inside drill or Oklahoma drill or something like that with you. So we're appreciative of you making time for us here on the Players Lounge. Wish you nothing but the best. Hope you continue to have a good summer and that when fall camp gets here, you're rip roaring and ready to go.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all, man.
All
I would
right,
try to catch him on a crackback block, and he would sniff it out from the second
yeah.
I started coming,
Always.
and he would knock my head back about 20 yards.
Yeah, always.
And nobody wants that at all. Nobody on either side of the ball wants
I
that.
wouldn't even want it. Nah, I wouldn't.
He'd feel bad.
All right, that's Myles Murphy for Taylor Viplis for our friends over at Heels for Life. Again, if you have not checked out the Heels for Life website, please do. Heels4Life.org. Find out how you can make a monthly contribution. Again, all of it matters. All of it goes towards the official football NIL collective for UNC, and it helps the players. It helps connect them with great community opportunities, but also allows them to benefit and allows North Carolina to continue to recruit at the top, highest pinnacle level that you can think of. But for Taylor and for Myles Murphy, I'm Joey Powell. We appreciate you listening and or watching this episode of the Players Lounge. We'll catch you next time. And I'm sure Vip probably has a good guest lineup for the next one too. We'll see. We appreciate you being here. We'll talk to you soon on the Players Lounge here on InsideCarolina.com.